Hi, this is Rajith from One Illumined Heart. So glad to be here with you. Today we're going to talk about entropy. Some of you may not have heard that word. It's a disorder in the universe, and we're talking about that in terms of reversing aging, which we've been talking about as a possibility since I started making these videos in April of 2020. We talked about then, and the word I used to use was youthing, Youthiing, my made-up word for getting younger. So we have a joke among people in my group that we're working on youthing. So I want to read from the dictionary two definitions of entropy. So the one that pertains to what we're doing here in this video is the one that says as follows. Entropy is a general trend of the universe toward death and disorder, a process of degradation or running down, or a trend to disorder. The deterioration of the ability to do copy or editing. And that is what happens with our human cells, is that we no longer have the capacity as we get older to copy the healthy, younger cells. And so therefore we are aging. Our machine starts to slow down and slow down and slow down until we die, if we get to live old enough to get old. Some people don't get to do that, but some of us do. So then there is one more, and that's a very scientific version. It has to do more with machinery, but I wanted to say, use this one also for those of you who are very scientific. Entropy is for a closed thermodynamic system, a quantitative measure of the amount of thermal energy not available to do a particular amount of work. A measure of the disorder or randomness in a closed system. A measure of the loss of information in a transmitted message. So again, our bodies are not able to, copy, edit, create new healthy cells in a good way. So let's talk about that. So we're going to talk very briefly about that and why do some human beings get to do this reversing entropy and reversing aging process with themselves and with other people when they do hands-on work. So I wanted to cover that with all of you today. I'm going to use the beginning. Well, I'll start with I borrowed this from my son, his little beautiful little motorcycle. So we're going to talk about gears. They told me to use the image of gears so that you could kind of understand how aging works. So when we're young, we're born and our metabolism is pretty fast. We're growing from little baby to childhood to teenager to young adult, pretty darn fast. And our cell's ability to replicate, it generally, unless someone has really bad health or some, disease or is exposed to really bad food, then the replicating isn't so healthy. But normally, if you had a healthy diet and you didn't have any disease, you'd be able to replicate at a pretty fast pace. When you get older, the replication slows down. It slows down, it slows down, sometimes then to a crawl until you end up with death and it stops, right? Well, back in April, I had 2 days in which about 4 hours each day, I had the left side of my body paralyzed. And this was so that they could put in particular codes for my soul to use for my new work on the planet, which I'm just thrilled to bits to be able to do. And I thought that they were joking at the time. I thought, how is this possible? But guess what? It's possible and it's working. So here we are. They put these new codes in and they told me that after I get my 17th chakra linked up to the 5D web, that I would be able to help people do their reverse aging. And so within, I think it was 3 weeks of my having received the codes and hooked up to that 17th chakra onto the 5D web, I was able to do this for some people. So what happens, so we talked about youth is very fast metabolism, fast replication, right? We get older, it slows down, it slows down, it slows down. So when we do these sessions on people, depending on, if they have a disease or an illness of some kind, or they're older and their bodies are starting to have issues, let's say that they're moving at this pace. So whatever that pace is, it's been moving forward toward aging, entropy. And the session that I do has to undo the pattern, reset the pattern, and then get those gears to first have to, instead of keep moving forward, stop to a dead still, which usually happens within 36 hours of the session. And then it goes in reverse very slowly. The machinery, because it's been going fast, it has to stop and get motion moving forward or backwards in the other direction toward getting younger. So it starts out slowly, and as it gets momentum, it'll get faster and faster and faster. And I noticed that with my body, that is what is happening. Since they have put that code in me, since I've hooked up to the 17th level of my 17th chakra, to the 5D web, this is what's been happening. So my system went to a stop, and now it's reversing aging. It's slow, but it's happening, and I'm watching subtle changes in my body as I'm going along, including what's happening with my bone-on-bone knees, rebuilding cartilage and joint base. And I'm excited to see if I'm actually going to go back to having chocolate brown hair with red highlights. Or I'm fine if I have to stay gray, white, I should say. But it would be fun to actually go backwards in time like that. I've been told that I could be going backwards as young as in my 50s, about 20 years younger than I am right now. So that would be enormously exciting to experience that. So that's what this gear thing is all about. So I want you to know that I've worked on a few people, one person with MS, one person with, what is the other illness? Parkinson's. Parkinson's isn't gone. The woman is in her 80s. But we managed to slow everything down so that she could go on a 3-week trip on the Silk Road from Turkey and Uzbekistan and do that whole trip. And I don't think she could have done it if we hadn't done the 3 sessions that we did to get that aging to slow down. And we're going to continue to do some more work with her on that to see if we can get that continuum moving a little bit faster. Another person that I worked with has very bad eyesight and has to have everything really hugely magnified to see well, and had photophobia for over 20 years. And I did the session, and he noticed a huge change, as well as not having photophobia a couple days later, and hasn't had it since. Other people that were waning in their energy are now moving their energy back toward healthier. So we'll see changing the pattern in the system, what that does for folks. So one of the things that I wanted to ask, and if you just hold on for no, I guess I can't do that, is whether or not entropy sessions can be done long distance. Is that possible at this time? No. Has to be hands-on for how long? For forever? No. for 3 more months for me, and then I don't know for somebody else, but for 3 more months for me, and then some other way that gift will be transmitted. I'm not sure, but right now it's hands-on, which is great. And then people will take their own amount of time as they move forward to get themselves healthier and better. And it is going to take time. The more you are into a disease process, the older you are, it's going to take a little bit longer to get those gears moving the other direction. And just be grateful for every shift as you're moving in the direction of greater and greater healing. Okay, so I was kind of shocked that this was possible. When the message came down, I was like, what? This is possible? The first person that I was working on, I kept seeing the word EN, and I'm like, what is it we're doing? Because it was new. And it wasn't until about an hour or two after I did the session, I finally got it, that the word was entropy, that they were trying to tell me while I was working. But anyway, so that is what happened. So I asked, and I'll just read this so that I don't mess up. I asked, why is it that I got to do this, right? And they're saying it's not just me, that it's many people, many souls who've decided to come in and support people in their healing process are going to be able to do these things by connecting to our own divine higher selves, doing whatever work we had to do our personal clearing, to clear our energy bodies, our physical bodies as much as possible, to allow different levels of light and healing to be made possible. So they told me that I was able to receive this gift because it has taken my body and my soul 24 years of conscious personal clearing work. So since 1999, I was working, of course, on it beforehand, but at a different level. But the last 24 years, since 1999, it's been a process of deep, intensive personal clearing of my karmas, my past lives, my condemnations of self, of others, of God, curses on self, others, and God, all needed to be cleared. I was a vegetarian now for over 50 years. How many years has it been? This is my 51st year as a vegetarian, so I was already on the diet that they were recommending. I just had to clean it up so that I wasn't eating as much sugar and starch and crap that I loved that wasn't good for me. Anyway, so that allowed that personal clearing and eating the right diet and doing my meditation and prayers afforded me the opportunity to have energetic upgrades from the sun, and as the planet held it, matched what the planet was holding, right? So that I was continually being raised up by the solar flares, as we all are if we're on this particular path, and allowing all those solar flares and those bursts of energy that affect every cell of our physical body, just like it affects every cell of the planet. All of that is raising up, and we're raising up with it. It's a gift from the divine that once I got to a particular frequency of consciousness and got to a place of holding a particular crystal body level, that I could be given this gift, that I could receive it, that my embodiment could hold it. And now the gift of being able to share the possibility of changing health and disease and reversing aging is possible. And God, there's millions of us light workers out there, and many people who are being added, to the list as we're moving on, that all of humanity, the incredible possibilities of things that we can accomplish together by holding love and light and a higher frequency and doing our personal clearing work, it is huge. I can't even tell you how honored I am to be able to receive this gift, how humbled I am by it. It is an extraordinary experience. And of course, there are some people that are holding energies that make it not possible to receive a gift like this. But if it's not, and we can find out what it is, and the energies can be released for whatever it may be, then we can open the pathway for this kind of thing to be received. And, it's a very personal journey because people have to be at a particular frequency to receive this. They have to have chosen the path of love, of brotherhood, of compassion, of sharing goodness and hope and renewal for not only themselves, but their community, their brothers, sisters, families, family of man, the planetary family of animals, of all of life forms, flowers, bushes, trees, food, whatever. It all has energy and we're all connected to it. None of us is separated from it. So this is very exciting. I'm so grateful that I get to share this with you, that we are able to do this now, and that there are going to be other healers besides myself who are being given this gift. And we'll see as this gift becomes more expanded. And like when I asked if entropy can be done long distance at this moment in time, not, but maybe in 3 months something will change. Let's stay connected to each other so that we can be abreast of that news. And then of course, when something changes, I will be glad and honored to share that with you. So this is exciting. And the next video I'm going to do is the benefits of being connected with all 17 chakras to the new web, what that means for each human being when that actually occurs. All right, take care. Many, many blessings, and thank you all for listening. I wish you only well. Remember to try and connect to a vortex if you're open to having your heart opened or codes opened. Namaste. Lots of love. Oh, you can reach me at info@oneilluminedheart.com, as well as on my public Facebook page, One Illumined Heart. Sorry about that. Take care. Bye.